going to be, of course, difficult to compress into a short amount of time the many subjects that one can talk about. But I think probably the best thing for me to do is to concentrate on things that people are less aware of. Certain aspects of how Mozart writes his dynamics or his articulations, for instance, and what they mean about performance. And also things like repeats, talking about what a repeat actually means. You know, people usually assume that you just go back to the beginning and just play it a second time. But why would you do that? And you go to a competition and they say, play the first movement of a Beethoven or Mozart sonata, but leave out the repeats. When I sit in a jury, I want to hear the repeats because I want to see if the performer has imagination. If you're going to tell the story twice, how will you tell it differently? And what evidence do we have from the music itself that suggests what the composer might expect when you repeat? In that connection, I'm going to talk a little bit, very briefly, about the sonatas of Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach, one of Bach's many musician sons, which are called sonatas with varied reprises, in which he shows how you're supposed to do the repeats by changing everything. I think it may shock some people to realize this, and maybe I'll demonstrate a little bit how he does this so that you can get an idea that when Mozart plays the recapitulation of a sonata and he's writing decorations into the music and then tells you to repeat that section, has he written down the first time or has he written down the second time? Now, who thinks about that? Well, I think it's a good thing to think about. So I hope to stimulate the listeners and the observers of this to become more adventuresome, more creative within the composer's language, so that they feel that they are liberating themselves and also liberating the music. But they're doing so not by guesswork, but by understanding what lies behind what is written on the page.